The letter arrived on a quiet morning, and when she opened it, her world would never be the same again. The year was 1944. A small wooden house stood on the edge of a quiet town in Kansas. Inside lived Margaret Thompson, a widow and mother of two. Her eldest son, William, had been drafted into the Army. Barely 20, with eyes too young for war, yet shoulders already carrying the weight of his country. Every day, Margaret waited by the window for the mailman. The letters from William were her lifeline. She read them over and over, sometimes aloud, sometimes silently, holding them close to her chest as though paper and ink could bring him home. "Dearest Mama," one of his letters had said, "don't worry about me. The boys and I are strong. The food isn't so bad, and I keep your picture in my breast pocket. Every time I feel afraid, I touch it, and I remember why I'm here." Her younger daughter, Anna, would sit beside her and whisper, "Mama, when will Willie come home?" Margaret always answered softly, hiding the quiver in her voice, "Soon, my darling, soon." One morning the sky was gray and the air unusually still. Margaret was sweeping the porch when she saw the mailman approach, but this time he wasn't alone. Walking beside him was a man in uniform, carrying a brown envelope sealed with the Army's crest. Her heart stopped. Her hands clutched the broom as though it were the only thing holding her upright. The soldier removed his cap and spoke gently, "Mrs. Thompson, this is for you." He handed her the envelope, saluted, and quietly walked away. The world seemed to blur. Margaret sat on the porch steps, the letter trembling in her hands. The paper was heavy, not from its weight, but from the meaning it carried. She whispered to herself, "Not my boy. Oh, God, please, not my boy." Slowly, she opened it. The handwriting inside was William's, not typed, not formal, but his own shaky script. "Dearest Mama," it began. Her eyes filled with tears. Instantly, she pressed the paper to her lips before continuing. "If this reaches you, it means I could not come home. Please don't cry for me, Mama. I was not afraid. I thought of you every step I took, and it gave me courage." She paused, clutching the letter so tightly her knuckles turned white. "Remember the garden we planted last spring?" I thought of the smell of lilacs, and I could almost hear your voice calling me for supper. That memory carried me further than I ever thought I could go. The words blurred as her tears fell on the ink, but she read on. "I want you to know, Mama, that I fought not just for my country, but for you, for Anna, for the home that made me who I am. And though the war will end without me, please know that my last thought was of you." And then the final words. "Your loving son, William." Margaret let out a sound no words could describe, a mixture of grief, love, and heartbreak. She held the letter to her chest, rocking back and forth on the porch. Anna, too young to fully understand, climbed onto her lap. "Mama, what did Willie say?" Margaret forced a trembling smile. "He said, 'He loves us, my darling. He loves us very much.'" For a moment there was silence, just the sound of the wind moving through the trees and the beating of a mother's broken heart. That night she placed the letter in a small wooden box beside the family Bible. Every evening after, she would take it out, unfold it carefully, and whisper, "Good night, my boy." Years passed. The world changed, but that letter remained, folded, fragile, stained with tears, yet alive with love. Margaret lived to see her grandchildren play in that same garden William once planted. She often told them, "Your Uncle Willie was a brave man. He gave his life so you could laugh freely under this sky." The letter became more than just ink on paper. It became a bridge between a son who gave everything and a mother who never let his memory fade. Some letters are written not to be answered, but to be remembered. And some words, though written in the darkest of times, carry the light of love across generations. Did this story touch your heart too? Share your thoughts in the comments.